Hey everyone, today you're going to get to listen in on a conversation with professional leverage traders, people that have been with me for years, people that had paid for my Oracle consultation years ago, and they're still with me today, making money from home on their computer. We're going to talk about what to expect this weekend. It's in the wee hours of a Wednesday morning. We are already thinking ahead. We're going to discuss everything. You're going to learn from this. You can even just listen. Below my video is a link. All of these people had booked my one-on-one consultation at some point. And I always said it comes with ongoing help. It's linked below my video. Comes with ongoing help, lifetime access. Together, we are a team like no other. So let's go ahead and discuss Bitcoin together. Let's wait for everyone to come in. You guys can unmute yourselves unless you're in a noisy environment. And good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, everybody.
Hey, buddy. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to record this for everybody else. But let's make it like a conversation. Okay, I'm open to all your feedback. Let me share my screen with all of you and show you what I'm thinking. So, let me take you here. I'm already thinking about the weekend. I'm going to talk about a couple of different things. I'm going to talk about Michael Saylor. I'm going to talk about the price of Bitcoin, what to expect this weekend, not to be liquidated like these people, to trade on what we see. And then I'll give you a couple of tips on the emotional aspect of the trade, which is so important. And you know, what made me think of it is what Dirty Harry had said, okay, regarding our consultation upgrade yesterday, or recap, or whatever. But anyway, here's what happened. You know, last weekend, we're always ahead of everything. And this was on, hold on, let me see. I think this was around the 18th. Yeah, so the 18th was Monday, okay? So many people got liquidated all day Sunday, all day, and all night Sunday, all straight down. This is a 6-hour chart. All these people got liquidated. And a lot of people were expecting Michael Saylor to buy. And the reason for that, hold on, let me go back here. So everybody, see, look, on the 17th, okay, which was on Sunday, well, he usually buys on Sunday evenings. If you can get in front of this, you can make a lot of money. You have to be able to see it coming. When he posts the orange dot, that means he's going to buy. Now, everyone was waiting, okay? And we posted, we're at 78,000, right? And look, nothing was happening. Whole numbers were breaking. I almost thought that Saylor wasn't going to buy, okay? So we were even talking about setting a potential, here, let's just play this for a second. I want you to know this so you could be prepared for this weekend.
Oracle said if you want to try to catch a potential Saylor pump long under the whole number, give yourself a gap and walk away for a few hours. In that case, I would get a gap of 2 whole numbers down.
So
I would use 86x this way. If there's an explosive move, you have it fueled.
It never stops when I start that thing talking. So when we look here, okay, again, the direction was down. So people who were not trading on what they seen, okay, we had clear direction. It's called the Singularity. When the 6-hour, the last candle, is in alignment with the 1 hour, okay, that's called the Singularity to short. When you have the same in green, it's the Singularity to long, okay? So everybody was supposed to short. It got to the point where we thought, and I'm leading up to a crescendo, we thought that Saylor did not buy. Okay, and Sunday night was traditional dumping, red Singularity, okay, and even though Saylor posted, we thought that he didn't buy. Long story short, we come all the way down here, and then this is on Monday. Wait, hold on, where is it? Boom. Oh, I posted these for you because this is something everybody should know. I mean, forget technical analysis and all that. It's basically the 4-bar system explains to you when you see if they're 6 hours green like this, and you see 4 red bars coming on the 1 hour. They're doing a flank maneuver. They're going to overtake direction. So that's what the 4-bar rule is. And the coordinates, all of that, you guys know. And I made this video the other day showing the drill down. Let me jump into that really quick for a second. We don't really have clear direction. This is the ocean. It's losing clear direction. One of you guys has Discord on. Close Discord. Or mute it. Even better. Or mute yourself. Now, we can see this doesn't count as a bar. This is one nice bar. Okay. I taught this yesterday in my Discord, in my consultation I did. There are only 3 types of candles. There are big candles, little candles, and then these flat, indecisive, confused candles. And if we look back in time, really, that's all you see. Big candles, little candles, and indecisives. That's it. Forget all the gobbledygook. So let's talk about going back to Sailor for a minute. Okay, here. So we thought that he did not buy. Here's the whole moral of the whole story. Okay? His buys are almost irrelevant now. Almost irrelevant. Bitcoin dumped all day Sunday, most of Monday. Okay? And he bought $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. We didn't even see the pump. I mean, you guys were all here on the weekend. We didn't even see the seller pump. It was dumping. I mean, if we go back here, okay, if I go all the way, I hate to scroll like that when I'm showing you this stuff, especially for people watching this at home, right? And I said, watch out for the market manipulator, use caution. And we just continued to dump. We just continue to dump. So what the whole point of this is, when we are trading, especially this weekend, follow the protocol. Do not think, oh shit, seller's going to buy, so I can't short when things are blood red. Let me show you all something. You know what? So let me take a second, and because somebody posted a comment in the Discord, I think it was Dirty Harry, okay, where he talked about, hold on, the emotional struggles of a trade. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to tell you about this, okay, is that's the hardest part of doing this. The protocol works like magic. Okay, the bigger the candle, the stronger the move. The smaller the candle, the weaker the move. I've all taught you about war formations. I've all taught you, okay, how to gauge strength here. You have to believe in your trade like a religion. Right now, to me, okay, it looks like, I don't care what time of morning it is or anything, but we're starting to bang on 77,000's door. Now, usually we don't break. This is 6:30 a.m. This is what we call critical time. Okay, this is the lull. It's an in-between time. I don't think that 77,000 is going to break now, because we are coming from an overnight move, okay, which pumped a little bit, but overall was downward. We're coming from an overnight move, okay, into AM moves. So I watched the 1 hour, just like I told you. The bigger the candle, the stronger the move. The smaller the candle, the weaker the move. So I watch price action, okay, and the candle size. So right now it's 6:33 a.m. I'm going to watch for a 7 o'clock candle. I am going to see if the 7 o'clock candle is a continuation, basically a bigger red candle with a longer wick that's bigger than the other one. The candle and the wick are just as important, or we're going to see a smaller red candle. And then we're going to move into what is traditionally known as AM pump time, and the green should start going up again. Okay. Usually we have AM pump time around 8, 9 o'clock. Now here's the crazy part. I've said it so many times, it only goes up and down, right? If all the rules go out the window when after a big move. Let me show you what I mean. Okay. If it pumps all night, it's going to dump in the morning instead of pumping. Okay? It's just the market breathing. If it dumps all night, it's going to pump in the morning. If it pumps all night, it's going to reverse on you and dump in the morning. And every 4 of these candles, I don't even trade on this exchange. Okay? I like, this is still one of my favorites here. Okay? I mess around with this sometimes because they're still trying. All right, and this is an old classic Margex. And 2-bit is okay too. I like their charts. You know what? Because they're nice and clean. Okay, I don't know why, but I feel that this is almost close, and I link all of these below. It's almost close to the cleanliness of this. I don't know what it is. It's just the way the chart looks. That's not what I want. Fuck you, Big X. Hold on. And fuck you, Big Get too. I don't even use those. Here. So, now when I look, I see weakness at 77. I'm on a 1 hour chart. Okay, so you want to, when I say watch your 1 hour, you want to watch the continuation. But what I was talking about is that it only goes up and down. Let's let these two people in. I know both of them. They're very cool. So it only goes up and down. Check this out. If I go back far enough, and every one of these represents, for every one is 6 hours, but every four of them is a day. Okay, look what you have here. A day of dumping, a little bit of chop, and then pumping. This is all it does over and over again. And what I teach you is how to get in front of these moves. How do you get in front of these moves? This is the standing on the mountaintop looking at it. Okay, that all it does is go up and down. If somebody told me in the beginning that all it does is go up and down, I would have saved hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay, in self-liquidations. Self-liquidations are the worst thing you can do. Okay, even closing a trade because you're afraid. Let me tell you something. If you have, let's just use $1,000 as an arbitrary number, and you're at 77x, that means that the exchange is loaning you $76,000 on your $1,000. All you could lose is the $1,000. So they're going to charge you fees. And then when we move in and out, which all the fees, all the same, okay? Forget about fees, they don't matter, okay? You care about racking up big percentages, okay? Now, the other thing is this, okay? Every time you go in and out, you're using the market button. You're slipping in and out at market to be fast, which is what we do, okay? And that's how you get gains like people show in the testimonial room. But it's going to take a bite out of your wallet, okay? And let me tell you, if you mess up and you nervously close one trade, okay, you can mess up good enough to wipe out 3 wins. I'm sure some of you have experienced that. That's kind of a question, but I don't expect you to answer because you're all on mute. Why? Who the fuck knows? But anyway, let's continue on. So let's look at this, okay? So again, I could even do it on a smaller time frame, right? That all this shit does is go up and down. Hold on, let me get rid of this so I have more control. Come on. Hold on. Here's another example, okay? Now, this is a 6 hour chart. Let me show you something. Right now, I teach you this in my consultation, okay? And bigger candle, bigger move. 3 kinds of candles. There's big candles, there's little candles, and there's these flat candles. The 6 hour had momentum to go up, okay? That's the ocean. Momentum is changing now. Where would I see that momentum changing? I'm going to drill down to the 1 hour. Son of a bitch, look at that. That's what's happening here. Do you guys see the correlation? How this was strong, 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 and now it's getting weaker, but the blind eye would never see. Here, we drill into the dump, and I begin to see, aha, Red Army is sneaking up on the Green Army. This is the ocean. This is the main front. These are the waves. If you get enough here, I call it the 4-bar rule. They overtake direction here, and then something wild happens. The singularity. Right now, we're breaking beams. If we hit 226, then you're going to see 113, possibly. The 086, 77, 086 starts to get hammered, and that whole number could break down to 76, 888. Why does it only go down to 888? Fucking irony of it. Usually, sometimes it'll go down to like 76, 780. Why? Because instantly people think it's on sale and they should buy the dip. And then they buy weakness under that whole number, and we stand on the top of the hill when it's time to short, and we know why they bought. We know there was underlying weakness, and we whack them. Now, getting back to the emotional part, I have like crypto ADD, okay? And so I jump around a lot. Getting back to the emotional part, okay? You need to control your emotions. The other thing is this, I'll tell you, people like to futz around with small amounts of money, okay? And they're wasting their time. You might as well go buy yourself scratch-off tickets, okay? Because here's the reality of it, okay? To make real money, let's go here. Hold on. Let's go to Oracle Testimonials. Okay. It is a hell of a lot easier to get 24%, 27% on a trade than it is to get 126%. You all have to agree with that. It's much easier, okay? 25%, no problem. 126% is a lot, okay? 62% is a lot. 36% is about average, right? But think of it. If you have more money in the trade, right, you need less percentage to walk away with more cash. Okay? Now, if you get a nervous stomach, okay, let's go here. Ethereum is such garbage. When Bitcoin dumps, if this gets under, I'm going to jump around again. If this gets well under 2100, then 2000 is its whole number. 2000 will be smashed. Okay? But in any case, we're not there yet. It's funny, I'm already thinking the weekend. Look, let me show you something. If when you go in a trade, you can't handle the volatility and you get a nauseous stomach, right? And it just moves too fast for you, slow everything down, okay? How do you slow everything down? Do not do this shit. You'll be here forever. It's like dragging your face through sand at the beach, okay? This is where, no, that's too high. Right here is where a lot of people who have experience and who can tolerate the volatility trade. You can do that only if you protect your trade, okay? And as a matter of fact, today I'm going to help everybody. Hold on. I'll talk about this in my consultation, okay? But today we're going to post this for everybody. Now, it changed, okay? And so you guys can tell everybody else. 86X might be too much for people, but let's give them the method, okay, right here in the DTU that I used to keep only in the Legends room. Hold on. Right, so let's drop this for them. We'll drop this, the old way of trading. Let's drop this. I don't know if these are in order. Yeah. And then the walk away method. Give them that. Boom. And then to check their phone, instead of staring at the dopamine, that will drive you crazy. And then when you see a big line going your way, you know your liquidation, you know your entry. You could even take a picture of it on the phone. But what you don't want to do, hold on. What you don't want to do is, that's good for them for now. What you don't want to do is this. Hold on. Okay. This is such a crazy example, all right? I have so many examples of max pain, and this is what I talk about, the emotion. You don't want to be staring at the screen. If you're down, it's the worst thing you could do, okay, is stare at the screen. It's hell. And you will go into trader's time paradox, where you will make a stupid mistake by trying to force the movement you want. You'll either add to a loser and give up some of your protection, or you'll close the trade in fear. 90% of trades are closed by the finger instead of the liquidation. So, I'll come back here. I love this example because it proves so many things, and the irony, the mental torture. Okay, so this trade, hold on. I need this here. Oh, I never forget this one, okay? Now, everything I send to the exchange, I consider lost. That's my first mindset, okay? And I send enough money to trade, okay? You know, I'll leave a little bit, and I take my money out every night. And I put in my Exodus wallet. I'll leave a little bit to catch emergency trade. Like I'll leave like $2,000 or something, right? In case I see something flying and I want to jump in, because by the time you transfer with an Exodus, it takes time, you miss moves, all right? But I don't like to leave the whole nest egg in there. But back to this. This is what messes with your mind. Down 144%. Now, at this point, the average person's mindset is, oh shit, it's never going to stop. I'm going to get liquidated. To me, my mindset is, I tell you, if I press that button, it costs me $5,000. If I leave that alone, every minute it survives, I have a chance. Why? What I just taught you 10 minutes ago. It only goes up and down. Yeah, it only goes up and down. Almost everyone has a moment to win. You have to catch that moment. But if you stare at this, maybe when it's down 40%, you came here to win. But maybe from 144% down, maybe when you're only down $800 instead of $4,800, you decide to close the trade. You still lost. You fucking gave them your money. Okay? Because you know what happens? Let me show you something. I'll prove to you. This is when I used to trade on cross. When you trade on cross, it uses your entire wallet. It's not an isolated event. But you could do a little more risky things. So it's just a different style of trading. Okay, we don't really use it so much anymore. Okay, and look at the price of Ethereum, $3,300. Don't they whoosh? 95x. Okay, 95x. Now I told you I can handle the volatility. I have the stomach for it. I've been doing this 10 years. Okay, it's like a callus. All right. It's like me and Mikey Boy. You put us in the gym. We're going to be different than everybody else. But let's go here. All right. 33.87 was my entry price. My liquidation estimated was 32.65. You might think that's close. That's not close in Ethereum. That's close in Bitcoin. But Ethereum is a hell of a lot cheaper, so that's a good percentage between there, but it's enough to make you shit yourself. I want you to remember, 3387.37 was my entry. Now, I talked about what I just posted in the DTU, the walkaway method. Oh, it's so powerful. It's so powerful, okay? You're either going to be, look, in this case, you're either going to be liquidated, and I would have lost the entire wallet that was in there, not just whatever was in the trade, because I was on cross leverage. Okay, isolated means it's isolated, like it's got the Ebola. Okay, we put in a little isolated room by itself, hopefully. In any case, this same trade, I'm gonna blow your mind. Forget walk away. Forget not watching it. Forget getting even and making the $4,800. Not losing the $4,800. This is so sick, you're not gonna believe it. I fell asleep. This was the outcome of the same trade. I want to start you down here so you know. 95x cross, right? 3387.37, the same entry, the same liquidation. Not only did I not lose my money, not only did I go a little green, but the gods of crypto leprechaun greenness, they rubbed their balls all over my trade. Look at that shit, okay? From being down 144% to being up 144%. If I was there, that would have never happened. If I was there, just like all of you, okay, the minute you got green, fuck even 8%, after that ordeal, you would have took your money. So the first lesson is that you can survive some pretty heavy damage, okay, without your emotions being there to mess it up. The second lesson is, without your emotions there to close the trade when it's a baby winner, look at the fucking whale you caught. Isn't that mind-blowing when you guys look at this? I almost don't want to ask a question because none of you answer. Seriously, unmute yourselves. You think I made this shit up? This happens all the time. So much so that I have an entire folder of this shit, okay? Over and over again. Okay, my Max Payne battles. I save fucking images. Because it really is like a game of war. It really is. And if you could beat the mental part of it, you can become fucking legendary, okay? So we're going to give them that for now. So the whole point of this, okay, was, I don't even know if you're all still there. There you are. Okay? The whole point of this entire thing was that when the weekend comes, don't be afraid of Sailor. You know, it mentally holds us back. Okay? Don't be afraid of Sailor. Trade on what you see, not what you think. Because all of those people who were destroyed outside of here, hold on, all of these people got destroyed because they were praying for a savior. Okay? They weren't trading the 6 hour and 1 hour singularity. And I'll show you that before I wrap this up one more time. Consultation. Okay, hold on. Boom. All right. Singularity. Let me show you something. And I don't care if the whole world sees this, okay, because my consultation has nothing to do with this. Okay, being involved with us is what makes you legendary. The singularity happens many times throughout the day. Okay, what that means is that the 6 hour and the 1 hour, I only look at the last two candles, I'm not an archaeologist. The 6 hour and the 1 hour are exactly the same. Now that's the 6 hour at $30,400 Bitcoin. Here is the 1 hour at $30,400 Bitcoin. Look, they look the same, the last two candles. That's the singularity. Even Ray Charles could win along when that happens. Okay? Now, let's go to the next one. $27,000 Bitcoin, there's your 1 hour. There's your 6 hour. Again, green singularity to go long. Does singularity last forever? No. These are all passing waves. You know, they talk about Elliott wave and all this bullshit, okay? What it really is wave theory, okay? Everything here, I like using this chart even though I don't trade here. Everything here is a wave, okay? These are waves. Now, we're at 77,000. This is the ocean. It has no direction anymore. It has an indecisive candle. The core numbers are breaking. Let's throw another one up for these people. Let's give them the coordinates. Okay? You know what? Let's even give them velocity. How strong is it when it breaks over the whole number? They need to know this. And you know what? Let's give them something else too. And again, this is not the heart of my consultation. I don't even talk about this in my paid consultation. Charting the dwarf. And then, one more. This one is going to help everybody. The most difficult part of the trade, the most difficult moment in the trade is when you first take off. Okay, the entry. Even if you are really great, 40%, roughly 40, 50% of all trades start off negative when you use high leverage. So if you let that shake you out in the beginning, you are cooked. So I covered a lot of stuff here. Singularity. You don't have to have singularity all the time. Okay, so we had here coordinates breaking. 226 is broken. Next is 113, and then the 086. Okay, now let's take a look here. I want to see this dump. The numbers have moved down since we started. I want to see the phases of it. I'm going to drill into it like a wave. So I see on the 1 hour why it's pulled down. Now, I don't overanalyze these. I'm just looking at the size of the candle. On the 15-minute, again, let's hit the auto button so it's adjusted properly. Every exchange, including Bitunex, okay, has an auto button here. This will always fix your chart if it's messed up. Okay. So now this dump that was happening, breaking to the lower coordinates, I see it on the 15-minute. Look at that. Let's see if it's still going down. Look at the 3-minute. Oh, it's retreating. We might even see a green on the 1 minute. We don't trade on the 1 minute, but we use it just to look deeper into the wave. There it is. Now, that candle to me it's not that strong. It has a little tail. But this is the 1 minute. It's very deceiving. All we wanted to do was shoot down. Now, let's watch the price. 760, 257. Let's take a screenshot of it. Most powerful tool you can have in your trading is a screenshot tool because we go price blind. Okay, we forget the little nuances of the numbers. The numbers are critical. Okay, so the 6 hour we know is not going to move for a while. Okay, it's 6:55 a.m. This candle, okay, is not really filling out a war formation yet. To me, this candle is weaker than this candle. How could I say that? Well, the wick is only to here. And if this was going to be stronger than that candle, the wick would have to come down here. You want it to match diagonally. Okay, that's what you want to see. So now we're going down. Let's look at all coordinates. We've seen the 226. Next is the 113. So what's happening right now to 77,000? It's being hammered like a lake of ice. Okay? When it gets to the 086, it's slamming on it, slamming on it, slamming on it. When it happens concurrently, okay, not 6 hours from now, but in this relatively low time frame, it will break that whole number. Many times they do what they call a slingshot. Time check, 7 a.m. New York City time. Usually we pump into the stock market open. Right now, Bitcoin is very attached to NASDAQ. Okay, we pump into the stock market open. Hold on. So 187. So let's see if it's still going down using wave theory, reading the candles. Okay, that's strong. Let's go down deeper into the wave. Okay, it's getting a little tired. Let's go down deepest. Oh, it's pulling back down. Okay, so now that will show on the 3 minute. Let's reverse it. Look, you got a nice strong candle there forming on the 3 minute. Now, the idea when you get the singularity, green on the 6 hour and the 1 hour, or red on the 6 hour and the 1 hour, the 3 minute, if you want to do fast kill shot entries, the 3 minute becomes a giant snake. Okay, all it does go up and down. Okay, and what I teach people is how to find your entry here. Okay, at high leverage. Okay, if direction was long right now, okay, you'd want to, this is a 1 minute, I just want it for example's sake. You'd start looking for your entry down here, okay, if the direction was long. Right now, direction is not long, and you can see there's a fight right over the whole number. We're getting into those coordinates. Hold on. Oh my God, I posted a lot of shit. Oh, that's not what we want. This. We're getting into these lower coordinates, but there's another factor that comes in, which is time of day, 7 a.m. Okay, we usually pump in the morning. We go from a nighttime schedule, let's go here, a nighttime schedule, which was usually dumping, okay, to an AM schedule where it usually would pump. But you have to go by the candles. At this point, okay, a new candle is going to come out in 2 minutes. I don't think this is the new candle yet. But the number is very low to the low coordinates. So I would watch for any AM pumps at this time. We have no direction here on the 6 hour. But what I'm guessing is that they will break down this 77,000. Most likely, it's not going to hold. But overall, as we approach the weekend, okay, and the powers that be, okay, again, we're connected to the stock market. Oh shit, we just went from green futures to red. That's wild. This was all green. I checked this before, okay? So when we look and we combine this and this, we may dump today. The new number for the weekend that they're going to look to achieve, I'm already, today is what, Thursday? I'm already thinking into the weekend. The number they're going to look to achieve to make media is 80,000. Okay, 80,000 is like the new 100,000. So we want to watch out for that. But again, none of that matters, because the truth is, all of those testimonials that are written in that testimonial room here are written from people. Oh my God, TPW, what the fuck? 440%? Fucking insane.
Another person, I'm convinced he's a bot.
Yeah. People will really think that he's a bot. Don't say that. But yeah, I don't even know how. I don't even do altcoins. I always tell everyone, okay, what you should do is become a specialist. Okay, I am a specialist in Bitcoin. So you don't see me messing with these altcoins. Okay, I am like an assassin. I know Bitcoin's every move, every breath. Okay, but I'm not that way when it comes to altcoins. Okay, sometimes, I like to short everything. I'll short an altcoin and I'll get screwed. But yeah, TPW has that skill set. Every one of you have the ability to become better than me. And the problem is, just like life, most people give up before they get there. Most people give up before they get there. And that's why when I see people, okay, who are really trying and whatever, okay, if I can, I throw them into a consultation recap, okay, to help you. And you guys think that I'm not watching. When I'm not here, okay, I come in here and I come back and I look at everything, okay, everything that happened. I love to see who's involved. I know we have a night shift, a day shift. It's just crazy. People have been here for years. Fucking epic, okay? And you know, I love shorting, and this is going to be fucking wild. And Ethereum is such garbage. Let me tell you all what a piece of shit Ethereum is, okay? It went to, when Bitcoin went to like 20,000, right? And let me give myself some credibility, okay? Yeah, nobody knows Bitcoin Ethereum, like I know Ethereum. There you go, okay? $164. So Ethereum never had its bull run. Okay, we used to throw around 30, 40 Ethereum like it was nothing. Okay, big deal. Anyway, Ethereum never had its bull run. Ethereum has an unlimited supply. It has an unlimited supply. And if I'm going to show something, I might as well use this. Ethereum has an unlimited supply. This is because of all of you guys, okay? You asked me, I said, should we just talk privately or should we share it with everybody? So everybody gets to hear this. And I chose a thumbnail with headphones on, giant fucking Radio Shack headphones. Why? Because I design my videos that you can learn by listening. Nobody watches videos anymore. I don't have time to sit there and watch videos, but I listen all the time. So there are things that you will pick up if you listen to this a second time that you missed the first time. Okay? There's so much here. And all of it is off the cuff. Why? Because I've been doing this for 10 fucking years. I do this for a living. This is like an ATM. You get in the groove with this. You get this right. Okay? You change your life. You get it wrong. You get wrecked and you say, leverage trading sucks. Okay? I can't do it. But you got to there's a specific science to this. The worst thing is your emotions, how you feel. Everything is predicated upon how you feel. So if you feel nervous, lower your leverage to 50x. Okay, that's the way we used to do it in 2019. Okay, go to 50x if you want to. All right, don't stare at it. You don't need a $3,000 gap. All right, when you set your gap, you want to be below. You know, let me show you. I had emptied this out already, but let's go over here. I can't even put in a sample trade to show you because we have no direction now. Like if this was up to me at 7 o'clock in the morning, I would not be trading this right now. Okay? I don't have to trade every move. You don't have to trade every move. This is really important. Okay? Right now, I wouldn't want to trade this. Why? Because of the time of morning. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. We know that many, many times, 8 out of 10 times, a fucking pump comes. The other thing is nobody has broken the whole number yet, 77,000. Now, there's two ways to go about it. If I want to short, I wouldn't short at this time. Okay, even though, let me check again what's going on. Oh, we have a smaller candle. This is the first thing I taught you all. Okay, bigger the candle, bigger the move. Smaller the candle, the weaker the move. So this little dumping that we had, to me, looks like it's slowing down. Look, I look at that. That's a smaller candle, duh, even though it's got a bigger wick. That's your 7 a.m. candle. So now I start the process in my head over again, okay? I'm waiting right now. I wouldn't trade because we're in between time. I call it the lull, L-U-L-L. Okay, it's like the in between. It's like the air. No, I'm not going to say that. It's the in between time, in between whatever happened overnight and whatever's going to happen in the morning. Happens almost every day at 6:30 a.m. So I can see coordinates are breaking, right? Still, would I want to short here and be guaranteed a win? There's two ways to go about it. I could take my chances. I could stage dive into this, right? It would be almost suicide. But if I did that and I was so hell-bent on shorting, all that means is that I may not be able to win right now. Okay, it might take me several hours to win. I like to trade when I'm certain. That doesn't mean I overanalyze. That means that I don't have a conflicting situation. Right now I see a conflicting situation. This could start a new leg down if the next candle is bigger than this one, right? But I'm close to the coordinates where the number could break. It hasn't broken yet. But conflicting situation says smaller candle here, but a number that makes me want to short. But a time of day that I know is dangerous if I short. Where's the fucking time? Hold on.
7:06.
Okay. It's a dangerous time to short. We've seen it many, many times. What you will see is just out of nowhere, big fucking giant green line up. It's not guaranteed, but I'm teaching you to be aware. That doesn't mean that right now I would put in a long against red direction that's becoming overwhelming and trade on a ghost. What's trading on a ghost? Oh, I think it's going to pump AM pump time. You're trading on a fucking fairy tale. You are only to be aware of the fairy tale. Don't trade on it when direction says that we're probably going to break 77,000. You don't want to go long because you think we're going to pump at 9 o'clock. It's like you don't want to go long, okay, because you think Michael Saylor is going to buy on the weekend and the charts, everybody's making money shorting, okay? And meanwhile, I've taught you how to see Michael Saylor can't hide from this. The candles tell you everything. This time, his pump was minimal last Sunday, and his buy was one of the biggest, okay? That I don't want to go into Saylor right now and all that I feel about him, but no one person. Bitcoin was not meant to be held by any one person or institution. It was never meant to, it was always meant to be decentralized, like a free thing, floating around, uncontrolled by borders or governments. We have one man that is trying to corner the market. This has happened before in history, before my time. It's called the Hunt brothers. They tried to corner the market in silver. It failed. Saylor, I'm not going to go into Saylor now. I want to keep this about trading. So what I wanted to get across here is trade on what you see, not what you think, okay? When you have green singularity, okay, and the numbers are right, go long, okay? And a little tip is you want to, when it's time to go long under a whole number. In this instance, the whole number is 77,000. When you want to short over a whole number. Now, I talked here, okay, hold on. About the breaking the whole number for the first time, okay? Charting the dwarf. We call it tossing a dwarf. So, sometimes I'll tell you all, I cheat. What does that mean by I cheat? Okay? I'll be the fucking dwarf. I'll throw myself through. One of us, we talked about this in consultation yesterday. Instead of waiting for 77,000 to break, go under and come back up. I don't do this in the morning time in known potential pump times because I have situational awareness, okay? But sometimes if it's like, if I have conviction from the candles and the time of day that it's going to break, fuck, I'll short it 77,397 and take the shot and ride it all the way down to 76,800, okay? And then close the trade, set up and do it again. Yeah. Sometimes I do that. Even though, and those of us who are more experienced, okay, do that as well. You get a bigger trade, okay? So that's everything. I've gone through everything that I need to talk about today. I hope you all found this helpful.
Always, awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Awesome,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah,
Massive.
It's always a
Thank you.
privilege to be able to jump in on a Zoom.
Yeah, I love doing this. I love teaching this stuff because this is real. If you guys can master this, you can be fucking legendary. The key is the key is the emotions. I used to be exactly like all of you. Okay, I would get the stomach turning, fucking up at night, staring at the screen. Okay, look at today as your first day. Go in the Discord and the DTU and look over that stuff. Yeah, 86x is for pros. Bring your leverage down to 50x if you have a nervous stomach. Okay? But for some of us, that's too slow. The $3,000 gap, you don't need to put that in right away. If you're around and watching it, okay, you can add your gap as needed. And I rarely use an entire $3,000 gap anymore. Okay, I might, and you can see what your gap is going to be, right? Let's say I wanted to short here, 86x. Let's do a couple of examples. Okay, open a short. Okay, so at 86x, let's look at this. Market price is 77,251. If they go to 77.9, okay, I get liquidated. Now, do I need to create a $3,000 gap? I only put $1 in there, so this is going to make a big difference. It's way too much. That creates a massive gap. Okay, hold on. Let's do that. So if you equal what you put in the trade, so you have, that's a $2,000 gap right there, pretty much. That I would be comfortable with as a gap. I don't need to make it crazy like this. I don't need to tie my money up in that. That's money that you could use that when you're down. I always used to say never add to a loser, but that was when you were trading on cross leverage. Because if you add to a loser, it takes away your protection. It's the purpose of cross. On isolated, you control your entire wallet. Okay? If you're down a lot, okay, and you have protection, well, you can add to the trade. A lot of times it makes sense. It'll get you out faster. The other thing is this, okay? Don't try to balance out. In other words, if you put, right off the bat, if you put $1,000 in here, well, let's say you put $5,000 in there, okay? I need that chart up again. Let's do this right now. I don't care. So let's say you put $5,000 in the trade before you add any gap. When you go like this, it's going to take a lot of money to move this needle. Okay? You want to move this needle, which is the liquidation point. You want to move that in increments as you go. So what I would say is if I wanted to put $5,000 in the trade, I would put $1,000 first and then create some gap. Okay? Create a little bit of gap that gets you around the next whole number. Okay? It doesn't have to be a $3,000 gap. Then when you add another $1,000 to the trade, okay, keep the gap distance the same. Add a little bit to the gap. Okay? But you don't have to immediately have a $3,000 gap right off the bat like it says in these things that I created here. But all of this should help you today. I want you all to look at today like a fresh new day and a new start. And don't be afraid of Sailor. Other than that, goodbye everybody. I'll see you in Discord. This has been epic. And I will talk to you all soon.
Have a great rest of your day, pal.
Thanks, sir. That's been awesome.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Have a great day, Timos.
Always. You guys have a
Awesome.
good day. Bye-bye, everyone.
Appreciate it, boss, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, for everyone at home, I encourage you to join my Discord. Get in here. All of this is in the DTU. If you want to book my consultation, you can. You're going to land in the non-trading room. Say good morning so we know that you're real. By the way, all of those in gold are legends. They were all trained by me at one point. Okay? Then, if you book a consultation with me, you can find all the information here. Okay? Go to Oracle links. And this is also under my video. You'll find the exchanges. BitTuneX is my favorite. 2Bit is a backup. Blow Fin, Blow Me, Blow Fin. Margex, old school. They don't care. KYC, not. Buy your crypto at Gemini. Get their credit card. It pays you cash back in crypto if you want it. Hoard Solana in free money back for using your credit card. Go check that out. Some good shit. My insider list, follow me on X. I really don't care about that. I have Telegram. I really don't care about. Some pro trading tips. And then there's everything about the consultation. That's in the Oracle link room. Daily trade updates. This is where I'm posting in real time because I'm trading with you. We're watching Sailor. We're making moves. And let's check before we go. So far it's red, but the price is moving up. Is there a pump down there? Yeah. Imagine if you could tell the future of Bitcoin. I hope you all enjoyed this. This has been absolutely epic for me. I love teaching this. Have a great day.